mind and body, breath and belief. Healing starts deeper than what you can see. Victoria Kennedy, guiding the way, where spirit and science meet every day. Real talk, real tools, helping you align. Welcome to the space where the body meets mind.
Hey everyone, I am Victoria Kennedy, medium clairvoyant from Los Angeles, California. And on today's episode of Spiritually Influenced, we will resume our discussion about the Astral Realm. If you have not had a chance to listen to the first episode that was about entities and the different kind of entities, I would highly suggest you listen to the previous episode so you will fully understand what we're going to be talking about here today. All right, let's get into it. How exactly do demons become demons? It all starts within the process of their physical death and how a death of a person rises out of their physical body. I know this might sound confusing, but stay with me. When the process of the physical death begins and the person begins to rise out of their physical body, what happens is that they have what we call a temporary body. And that's going to be known as the facade body, facade or facade body, however you want to pronounce it. I know it might sound confusing, but just stay with me. So kind of think of a caterpillar, right? So a caterpillar is going to shed before blossoming into a beautiful butterfly. That would be considered the facade body, something that is temporary, a temporary shell. And this body is a ghost body, and it has vibrations very close to the physical body. Again, this is a temporary stay in the facade body, which allows a gradual step into transition for many of us. Those who are lifted suddenly into high vibration would be in shock, which can happen to those who die suddenly. So let's say you go out of your house and all of a sudden you are shot and you die instantly. You're driving your car and there's a tragic car accident and you die suddenly. That will have an effect on you because you're suddenly going to be lifted into a high vibrational state and you're going to be thinking, what the heck is going on? Because at that point, you're not going to realize that you are actually dead. After several days, the person normally drops the facade body and goes on living onto a higher level of learning, which can be what some considered heaven or whatever your higher level of learning is. The earthbound entities who influence or possess people or places are those who, for some unknown reason, could not or would not drop their facade body after death. And because of that, they could not ascend to a higher level of vibration. They're caught on a lower astral level, which is the realm between heaven and earth. And since the lower astral levels are closely attuned to the physical level, they are earth fascinated. And they concentrate on the physical world. They have lost their physical bodies and they have no way to express themselves on a physical level. They become frustrated and frightened because we're here and we are not aware of them and we do not respond to them. They have trapped themselves because one of the following reasons. Number one, they're earth fascinated. They may have unfinished business on earth, such as the need to continue to possess a loved one, a desire for revenge, guilt connected with some place or event. It's what I call, it's that if I cannot have you, nobody can syndrome. Number two, they have fear of letting go of the facade body. They may have no concept of life after death because to them, their facade body looks just like their physical one would look like. They think they're still physically alive and they don't want to die. For example, someone who is terminally ill and they are trying everything possible to stay alive for whatever reason. That reason could be they have their own disconnect from God. That would be their reason of not wanting to let go. The fear of the unknown. Number three, refusal to accept help. Help is always available for those who are passing over. We have dedicated workers of the astral world who are there to offer help and guide us, but some troubled ones don't believe they can be helped, or they don't trust the helpers because everything is so strange to them. They are completely unaware of the many Christ beings who are offering help from a higher level of vibration. We have so many beings that come forward to assist us. It could be your relatives, pets, and even angels. From the time you are born up until the time you transition, you are never alone. Even in the physical realm, you're always surrounded by your spiritual family. Number 4, general confusion. They are just too confused to understand everything that is going on. And that confusion can result from them going through a sudden or violent death. Number 5, they have no belief in God. They don't know how to pray or to even ask for help. If they could turn to prayer, or even if they cried out, God, help me, their minds would open to receive their help and lifting. See, their minds are closed to any level higher than that of their own consciousness. In every case, as people pass over from their physical world to the mental one, they take their consciousness with them. If during their physical life they have been dwelling in anger and hatred, then they are going to attune to a lower vibration in the mental world until someone comes and helps to heal and lift them. And this is where I come in. When we clear people, places, and things, it's the energy that is being healed and lifted into a higher level of learning. When they are, I guess, what we call earthbound, they feel every bit of pain that we feel. They feel hunger, they feel cold, they feel sickness, and they are constantly hurting because they are literally feeling the earth's vibrations. The earth vibrations acts like a shield that just bounces back, right? So just kind of think, you're standing in the middle, there's 2 shields, one in the front, one in the back. And that pain is just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time as that pain continues to go right through you, it increases, the intensity increases. And we don't feel that because we are here and we are grounded. But they feel it because they're not supposed to be here. And this vibration and all the energy that they are feeling is so intense. And it causes them ongoing pain, discomfort, and anguish on all aspects of their being. That's why I always say there is no such thing as a so-called Casper the Friendly Ghost. Because that Casper the Friendly Ghost can become a demonic energy within 0.1 second, if not sooner. That Casper the Friendly Ghost can be possessed by a stronger energy in the astral realm. So any type of energy that does not belong here on earth does not mean it should be in your home. It should not be in your car. It should not be on your land. It should not be anywhere near you, because that energy tries to bring you down with them. Does this mean less people transition on a peaceful level? Absolutely not. For most, deaths and passing over is a beautiful experience. They feel the freedom and joy of the higher astral world. And that's been described as people who have had near-death experiences as being beautiful, a beautiful and peaceful place where they're reunited with their loved ones. And again, not only their loved ones, but even with their pets. There are some who don't believe in an afterlife, and some do. Some believe in reincarnation, and some feel death of the physical body is just the absolute end, which is not. Because if the death of the physical body was the absolutely end to all life, meaning all physical life, mental life, which is going to be, wherever you feel your higher power is at, for example, heaven, then you would not have these experiences of, let's kind of go back to Tia Lupe, walking into the house, smelling her perfume, walking into the house, hearing this song play that you have not heard in so long, having a dream about your Tia Lupe, where she's just standing there smiling. Because if death was the end of the physical body, you would not be having any of these experiences. Our friends and loved ones who have gone before, they're waiting to greet us. And again, they're waiting to greet us in heaven or whatever your belief is. We have volunteer helpers. They're also on hand to welcome us. I guess we can say our dead relatives, just to simplify it and to help us understand the new laws of time and space and the ways of living in the mental world. It is only the few who cannot or will not accept the lifting of vibrations and the help that's offered to us. And those are the ones who are caught on the lower levels. Even those confused ones must and will receive their lifting at some time in some way, even though they may wait a long duration of time for it. Time in the mental world, there is no time. A period of many years in the physical world would just be 5 hours in the mental world, which is going to be the spirit world. So what happens when someone needs to be cleared from an attachment or a home or even the land? Before we truly get into that, let's kind of talk briefly about Sage and Palo Santos. So the one thing I want to say about Sage and Palo Santos. Now, there's nothing wrong with using Sage or Palo Santos in your home. I truly believe that your home should be saged at least 3 times a year. At the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the year. So Sage and Palo Santos will not lift any energy that is earthbound in your home, meaning any type of ghost, any type of demonic energy, poltergeist, and so forth. Sage and Palo Santos will not do that. Sage and Palo Santos are used to clear what I call snail trails from your home. Our walls are like sponges. They soak up everything. When we bring people into our home, we leave a snail trail. I do, you do, our pets do. And that is what Palo Santos and Sage does. It kind of refreshes the energy in your home. And it clears those snail trails, which is going to be residual energy. I had a client one time who I was explaining this to her, and she just could not understand the concept of the snail trail. So I had to use another descriptive way. We can kind of look at it as soap scum. If you don't clean your shower, if you don't clean your bathtub, let's say you have water that goes down slow because you haven't had a chance to get that Drano yet. You're going to notice the soap scum that builds up around the sides of your bathtub, even on the bottom of the bathtub. Once you get the Drano, you pour it in, the water's able to go down a lot faster. Then you're able to go in and clean your tub, right? When you clean your tub, you're actually lifting and removing that soap scum. Same concept as a snail trail. And snail trail is the same concept as removing soap scum. And that's what Palo Santos and Sage does. It simply lifts and clears the residual energy that's been left from people who have been in your home, from people who have lived in your home prior to you. Another thing I always tell people is that when you buy a new home, you should have your home cleared. After you have it cleared, then the person who goes into your home and clears it should also be saging. But just remember, if you ever have your home cleared, everybody who also lives in your home also has to be cleared. If somebody in your home has an attachment from who knows where or from doing who knows what, maybe they need to be cleared. So if that person who lives in your home needs to be cleared, then your home also needs to be cleared. Because if not, it's like going outside, sweeping your gutter during a rainstorm. So is there a right or wrong way to sage or Palo Santos your home? I don't think there is. I feel that you're doing it with the intention of clearing your walls from that residual energy, clearing your home from that residual energy. The way I sage is that I close all the windows in the house. I close all the doors in my home. And I start in our back room, which is going to be our family room. And I kind of push everything going towards my little living room to the front door. Now, when I'm saging, I start from the bottom and work my way up. So I'm going to go from the bottom of the walls all the way up. I'm going to sage curtains. I'm going to sage furniture. I'm going to sage, the beds or Palo Santos, whatever you're using. Just be careful that you don't get too close and you end up starting a fire, okay? And again, you're just going to work your way from the back to the front. And when you're saging, you want to have an intention or you want to say a prayer. Sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the times I say the Our Father prayer. So I will be saging, and both my son and I, we will be saying the Our Father prayer. There is no stronger prayer out there than the Our Father prayer. Even when we are removing attachments from people, as I call bad jujus, the Our Father prayer, I cannot even explain the strength of this prayer. And right now, as I'm talking to you about the prayer, I'm feeling the energy stepping forward, which is going to be my beautiful spiritual family, and I'm getting the chills. That's how strong that prayer is. I walk around, I'm saging my home, both myself and my son. We're saying the Our Father prayer, going into every room, even the washroom, even the bathrooms. Once I get to the entryway in my small living room, I stand by the door. And again, I'm saging the door. The door is going to be the last place I'm saging. Once I'm done, I open the door and I just stand there, because when I'm standing there, I feel all that energy from those snail trails being lifted and going outside. And whatever happens from that point on to that energy from the snail trails, I have no idea. I don't even care to know where it's going. All I know is that I have a higher power and I have a beautiful spiritual family who's going to direct that energy to its perfect place of expression. And then once I'm done feeling that snail trail energy being lifted, then I'm done. Now, sometimes people like to sage themselves. I don't do that. I don't even do that to my son. And I don't do that because I am purely protected. The way I protect myself, there is no way that anything is going to be able to interfere or to affect my energetic field whatsoever. But again, everyone has their own way of kind of going and saging and using Palo Santos. Just remember, if you have bad jujus in your house, the sage and Palo Santos will not get rid of them. It might kind of clear some of the energy in the home, but the only thing you're going to do is that you're going to piss off that energy. Okay, let's move on. So when I go into a home to clear, or whatever it is that needs to be cleared, obviously I always protect myself, and I do let the people living in that home that there is a chance that activity could increase. Activity could increase because that activity knows that they're going to be leaving soon. So it's one of those things, okay, we got to hurry, we got to hurry, we got to hurry. They want to stir shit up before they're going to go to wherever it is that they're going to go to. And I say wherever they're going to go to because I have actually asked before, what happens during a clearing? Where does this energy go to? And I literally heard, don't worry about it. So that is a very nice way that my spirit family is letting me know it's none of your business. You don't need to know that. You just need to know that you need to go into this house and you need to clear this energy, and we will take care of it from there. When my spirit family says, no, don't do it, don't worry about it, then you know what? I never ask again. Am I curious? Heck yeah, I am. But for some unknown reason, it's not meant for me to know, so I pretty much leave it as that. Prior to going to someone's home, I've also been visited, during the day or even in my dreams of the energy that's trying to scare me. Because their thing is, well, I'm able to scare the people who live in this home, and I know who's going to come and try to get rid of me, so I'm going to try to scare her. But see, what this energy doesn't realize is that they're wasting their time, because I have an amazing spiritual family. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I stand outside of a house I'm about to go into and I'm like, what the heck am I getting myself into? But then all of a sudden something just clicks. And I'm like, okay, let's go do this. I got this. Let's go do this, and I got this, because it's not me who's going and lifting and removing this energy. It's my spiritual family. They are using me to go and to uplift whatever energy has to be lifted, regardless if it's on a person, if it's in a home, or even on a piece of land. But again, are there times when I'm like, what the hell? Absolutely. Trust me on that. Absolutely. The one thing I always say is that land is free game. You want your home and everyone who lives in the home to be cleared and to have that as your sacred area. And don't get me wrong, if the land needs to be cleared, then we will clear it. But again, you have no control of the people who are on the land or who have been on the land way before you. We have no control of the mail person or the Amazon delivery driver and their energy, what they do with their energy. You see where I'm going? It does not matter where I am or where the other person is located. See, when it comes to clearings, it does not matter where I am or where the other person is located. Someone can contact me from a third world country, and I am still able to clear their land. I'm still able to clear them. I'm still able to clear their home. I always say this, and you'll hear me during this entire podcast and every single podcast. My spiritual family has blessed me with the knowledge of being able to clear from a distance, and it's remarkable. What happens after I clear? Well, I go to In-N-Out. But no, really I do. That's my excuse to have In-N-Out. Okay, I have to clear, so I need that In-N-Out hamburger. There are clearings you can do on people, places, and things, but the clearings are different compared to a thought form healing. So when you have a thought form healing, that's designed to remove the negativity from your thoughts. So earlier we spoke about, in our last episode, we touched upon the troubled ones and parasites that affect the mind. This is when a thought form healing would be done. A thought form healing could be done if your house is completely free and clear of any and all bad jujus, and they're having maybe some mental related psychosis, right? A thought form healing would be done on someone who's having any type of mental illness. Aside from clearings and thought form healings, we're also able to heal past incarnation influences, which is basically healing of the child, the healing of psychic bondage, which is the if I can't have her, no one can, and piggyback healings. This again is when someone is possessed with multiple entities, and you will see this if somebody uses a Ouija board or any type of spirit board. Now, I've been doing this for quite some time. And even with all the information, the knowledge that I hold, and I'm able to protect my energy, there would be no way I would surround myself at an event with someone playing with the Ouija board, or even being inside of a house or in another room where there's a Ouija board. We have cleared homes that have had Ouija boards. We have cleared people who have had Ouija boards. And when there is a possession from a spirit board, such as a Ouija board, there's multiple entities that have influenced a human being. Meaning, you have multiple entities that are possessing this one person. And every entity that is possessing a person is going to have their own strength. It's like going to a gym. You have multiple people at the gym lifting weights. You have someone who is just starting out. They're only able to lift a 5-pound weight. You have someone who's been there for maybe a couple of weeks. They're able to lift 10 pounds. Someone who's been there for a couple of months, they're between 15 to 20 pounds. You have someone who's been there almost a year, lifting 30 to 40 pounds. And so forth. That's why I always tell people, do not play with a Ouija board. It is hell, and I mean it is hell. It's not a pretty sight having to remove multiple entities that have possessed someone because they decided to be a dumbass and play with the Ouija board. They wanted to contact their Tia Lupe, but instead they started talking to who knows what. They start having bad dreams. They kind of feel suicidal. They're depressed. Their entire world just collapses right in front of them. You walk into their house and it's just so dark and it's heavy and it smells like rotting flesh. And just know, when people call me and they say, this is what happened, or my daughter or my son, this is what happened, they're playing with the Ouija board or with another spirit board, and this is what's going on inside of my home, and they ask for help, absolutely, I will help them. But I also tell them I charge what I call a dumbass fee. And why do I call it the dumbass fee? Because you were the dumbass who put yourself into this predicament. And now I'm going to have to go and spend anywhere between 3 to 4 hours, maybe even 6 hours, trying to remove every entity that has been trying to possess you or has possessed you. It's a process. It just doesn't happen with a snap of a finger, and it's very, very ugly. It is so ugly. So don't be a dumbass and play with the Ouija board. I can just go on and on about this, but I'm pretty sure that I would just confuse you if you're not already confused. I know it's a lot to take in. I definitely know that. And you're probably hearing things that you never even heard of before. But the more you listen to spiritual influence, the more you will learn. This is what we are here for, is so you can learn. If you ever feel you are in need of my services or like a consultation, you can always reach out to me. All my information is on my website at vkennedy.com, as well as all my social links. Thank you for listening to another episode of Spiritually Influenced, and thank you for sharing your energy and your time with me. Until next week, stay well, stay blessed, and stay grounded.
Carry the wisdom, take it inside. Every small step is part of the climb. Honor the journey, trust what you find. The answers live where truth aligns.